5 women governing the ancient world. Cleopatra, Boudica, and Wu Zetian are among the scarce female rulers of antiquity, yet their legacies endure as testament to their formidable influence. Throughout the kingdoms and empires of the ancient world, the ascent of women to positions of power was a rare occurrence. The handful who did, in the Near East, Asia, and Europe, fought their way through significant barriers in often violent times. Initially reliant on the support of men, be it fathers, husbands, brothers, or sons, these women eventually solidified their grip on power, some reigning for decades. Their tenacity and cunning, combined with ambition, intelligence, political astuteness, and occasionally ruthless tactics, ensured their longevity in leadership roles. Herein lie the chronicles of 5 remarkable women whose paths through adversity and triumph have reshaped the course of history and remain a source of inspiration for generations to come. Boudica, Ancient Britain. Queen Boudica, a formidable leader of the ancient British Iceni tribe, ascended to legendary status through a tumultuous saga of revolt, violence, and warfare. The turning point came upon the death of her husband, Prasutagus, in AD 60, when the Roman Empire seized the opportunity to annex the Iceni kingdom. In a brutal display of dominance, Roman forces publicly subjected Boudica to flogging and humiliated her daughters, erroneously assuming it would quell her spirit. Instead, it ignited an unyielding resolve within her. With a heart fueled by fury, she marshaled the Iceni and allied British tribes, unleashing a relentless campaign against Roman domination. Together, they struck at the heart of Roman power, besieging key population centers such as Londonium, now akin to modern-day London, and inflicting a significant blow by defeating a detachment of the mighty Roman legion. Her followers killed between 70,000 and 80,000 Romans and pro-Roman Britons. However, the tide of battle would eventually turn. A resurgent Roman army, united and determined, delivered a decisive blow to the tribal coalition in a final climactic confrontation. Boudica died by suicide or illness soon after. Nevertheless, her valiant stand against tyranny would resonate across the ages, immortalizing her as a national heroine. Centuries later, during the English Renaissance, Boudica's legacy endured as a symbol of indomitable courage and defiance against oppression. Wu Zetian, China. Empress Wu Zetian, the remarkable and singular female sovereign of China, held sway as the de facto ruler of the Tang dynasty for 4 decades, from 665 to 705, 25 years through her husband and sons, and then for 15 years when, in an unprecedented move, she founded the Wuzhou dynasty and became empress in her own right. Revered for her firm leadership, she spearheaded sweeping reforms that ushered in an era of efficiency, integrity, and cultural resurgence, while defying entrenched aristocratic privilege to champion the cause of the common people. Under her astute guidance, China flourished, expanding its dominion through military conquests in Korea and Central Asia, solidifying its position as a global powerhouse. Entering the imperial court as a concubine to Emperor Taizong, Wu Zetian swiftly rose through the ranks, marrying his successor, Emperor Gaozong, and assuming an unprecedented role of influence. Possessing a formidable intellect, charisma, and boundless ambition, she eclipsed her husband in decisiveness and vision, effectively wielding power behind the throne. Yet, her ascent to authority was marked by intrigue and bloodshed. Employing a network of spies and engaging in ruthless machinations, she eliminated rivals, real or perceived, while consolidating her grip on power. Her methods were ruthless, involving deceit, accusations of sorcery, and the ruthless eradication of dissent, even within her own family. Even as her sons ascended to the throne, Wu Zetian remained the true power, serving as Empress Regent and meticulously controlling the reins of governance. In a stunning move in her 60s, she compelled her youngest son, Emperor Ruizong, to abdicate, inaugurating the Second Zhou dynasty with herself as its sole ruler. Her legacy, however, extended beyond the realm of politics. A patron of the arts and literature, she fostered a cultural renaissance while advocating for the advancement of women's rights and the propagation of Buddhism. Despite her achievements, her rule was not without opposition. In 705, a coup orchestrated her removal from power, and later that year she passed away. leaving behind a complex legacy that continues to fascinate and inspire generations to come. Hatshepsut, Ancient Egypt. Queen Hatshepsut, who assumed the role of pharaoh in the 18th dynasty of Egypt, reigned for 22 years of prosperity, peace, and a creative explosion in art that would have a lasting impact on Egyptian culture. Born the eldest daughter of a pharaoh, Hatshepsut's destiny intertwined with royalty from an early age. At the tender age of 12, she entered into marriage with her half-brother, Thutmose II, eventually ascending to the role of Queen Regent alongside her stepson and nephew Thutmose III, who inherited the throne at the age of 2. 7 years into her regency, in 1478 BCE, she broke with tradition and had herself crowned pharaoh, co-ruler with the child king. To navigate the patriarchal currents of Egyptian society, she ingeniously crafted a masculine persona, donning regal attire and even sporting a false beard in depictions, symbolizing her authority and prowess. As the longest reigning female monarch of ancient Egypt, Hatshepsut's reign ushered in a golden age marked by economic prosperity and extensive construction endeavors across Upper and Lower Egypt. Her visionary leadership revitalized trade networks and catalyzed monumental building projects, leaving an indelible legacy of architectural marvels. Hatshepsut fortified her rule by partaking in sacred rituals typically reserved for male pharaohs, thereby securing her divine mandate and legitimacy. However, upon her passing, her co-ruler, Pharaoh Thutmose III, sought to diminish her legacy by expunging her name from historical records and defacing her monuments, claiming credit for her achievements. Yet despite attempts to erase her memory, Hatshepsut's enduring legacy endures as a testament to her unparalleled reign, forever enshrined in the annals of Egyptian history. Queen Seondeok, Korea. With King Jinpyong of Silla lacking a male heir, his daughter, Princess Deokmun, challenged tradition by vying for the throne against her brother-in-law. Despite resistance from those who deemed a woman's reign unacceptable, Princess Deokmun persevered. In a decisive move in 631, she quashed dissent by executing 2 officials and their families who plotted against her coronation. In January 632, Queen Seondeok commenced her reign as Silla's 27th ruler, marking a historic milestone as the kingdom's first reigning queen. Amidst the backdrop of incessant warfare among the Korean kingdoms, she embarked on a transformative journey to elevate Korean culture through intellectual revival, literary advancement, and artistic patronage. Prioritizing the welfare of her subjects, she instituted reforms aimed at alleviating the plight of widows, the impoverished, orphans, and the elderly, demonstrating a compassionate and progressive approach to governance. Queen Seondeok's policies endeared her to the common people, despite facing opposition from the male aristocracy. By constructing the Cheomseongdae Astronomical Observatory to aid farmers, granting tax exemptions to peasants, and reducing taxes for the middle class, she garnered widespread popular support, solidifying her reign. Undeterred by initial skepticism from the Tang dynasty in China, Queen Seondeok pursued her vision of unifying the Korean kingdoms under Silla's rule. Embracing Buddhism and undertaking ambitious architectural projects, including the construction of numerous temples and pagodas, she sought to forge cultural and religious unity as a means to achieve national consolidation. Tragically, Queen Seondeok's reign was cut short by illness in 647, as she confronted a rebellion led by one of her trusted advisors. Her legacy, however, endured, paving the way for her cousin Queen Jindeok to ascend the throne as the next female ruler of Silla, thereby cementing the indelible imprint of Queen Seondeok's reign on Korean history. Cleopatra, Egypt. Cleopatra, the queen of the Ptolemaic Kingdom of Egypt, governed for 21 years alongside 2 brothers and stood as its final active ruler before Rome's annexation of Egypt in 30 BCE. As the last descendant of Macedonian Greek ancestry to lead Egypt, Cleopatra is renowned for her romantic relationships with Roman leaders Julius Caesar and Mark Antony, which not only influenced politics, but also sparked significant unrest in Rome. She aimed to leverage Rome's power to reclaim lost territories for Egypt. Upon the death of their father Ptolemy XIV in 51 BCE, Cleopatra and her brother Ptolemy XIII assumed joint rule. However, their internal power struggle and ensuing conflict culminated in Roman dictator Julius Caesar, who became Cleopatra's paramour, siding with her. Following Ptolemy XIII's demise in battle, Caesar appointed Cleopatra and her other brother Ptolemy XIV as co-rulers. After the assassination of Caesar in Rome in 44 BCE, Cleopatra established a new alliance with Caesar's heir, Mark Antony, marrying him and bearing twins in the process. Their union was fraught with political machinations as Cleopatra leveraged her influence to further Egypt's interests, financing Antony's military campaigns and advocating for territorial claims in Syria and Lebanon. However, their alliance drew the ire of Caesar's adopted son, Octavian, who launched a relentless propaganda campaign against Cleopatra, inciting the Roman Senate to declare war. Antony and Octavian's armies clashed in battle. Upon hearing false reports of Cleopatra's demise, Antony took his own life. Upon Octavian's arrival at the palace in Alexandria to capture Cleopatra, she adamantly refused to be brought back to Rome and displayed as a defeated queen in the streets. Legend suggests that she ended her life by deliberately allowing a snake to bite her, although some historians propose alternative theories, including ingestion of toxins through needles, ointments, or other means.